Hi, Dave Klappenberger with Klappenberger & Son Painting and Handyman. If you're interested in franchising with us, well, go to our website and fill out the contact information and get some information on it and see if it makes sense for you to do. But I think you probably are watching this video to learn a little bit about gloss paint, and let's go ahead and get started with that. To get a high sheen gloss paint like this takes lots and lots of time and effort, about 10 times longer, 10 times more expensive to get a door to look like this than if we just put some semi-gloss on it. If you're okay with it looking like this, where you just sand it and you accept the characters and the flaws and you give it a cleaning and a primer and a couple finish coats, that's what you get. And that still takes a little bit of time to get there, but not as much time as that high reflectivity look that you might be looking for. So we're going to talk about 6 different gloss paints, and I want to give you sort of the pros and cons of each one. Let's start off with I'd say my least favorite of the 6 would be the Behr Premium Gloss. It had average workability, poor coverage, and the brush strokes were still visible after I rolled it and went over it with a brush. It retails for $43, which is good, but I didn't like anything that much about the paint except for when it dried. The finish felt smooth to the touch. The next one that I liked just a little bit more was the ProClassic. Now it retails for $90. It has a reflectivity of 80%, which means a mirror is 100%, so it's about 80% as reflective as a mirror. The coverage was the best out of all 6. Definitely like that. The workability was average, and the brush strokes also dried before they had time to self-level and disappear, even with Floetrol added to it. The next one I'd like to talk about is at Ace Hardware. Somebody suggested I talk about, or I get a gallon of Clark and Kensington, and I did, and I really liked this paint. It was thinner, but it allowed me to really work with the paint, and it was very, very easy paint to work with. And because it was thinner, it also just sort of melted better than the other 2. I like it, and it was only $41 a gallon. I would say if the best value paint that I tested out of all 6, the best value would certainly be the Clark and Kensington. Next one I want to talk about is the SherwinWilliams Emerald Designer Gloss. It has a reflectivity of 80% as well. It has good workability, self-levels better than the other ones, about a little bit better than Clark and Kensington. The coverage was good. It didn't do anything great except for the feel of it was fantastic once it dried. It has a very nice feel to it. It's $95 a gallon. So you're talking about twice the price of a Clark and Kensington and a little bit better. It might be a little bit more durable. I haven't tested that out yet. But if you are at a Sherwin-Williams store, definitely spend the extra $5 for the Emerald Designer as opposed to getting the ProClassic Gloss. Another good paint, very similar in quality and grade that I would give to the Emerald Designer, is Benjamin Moore Command. It's thin. The coverage isn't as good as the Emerald. The working time was probably better than the Emerald, and the overall finish was equal to the Emerald. And it's about $85 a gallon, and it has a sheen of 80%. I like the Command. My only tip would be don't recoat the paint for at least an hour. It says it can be recoated in 15 minutes. Don't do that, because it might be able to be recoated in 15 minutes, but it's incredibly difficult to work with, and it's very hard, if not damn near impossible, to get an even sheen on there. Wait, let it cure for an hour or 2, and then put another coat on. The next one I'd like to talk about is Pharaoh Ball. Now this one's very expensive at $135 or $130 a gallon. But the sheen value is 95%, so it's very reflective. If you want something to look like that door I showed in the beginning, you got to use something like Holland Lac or Fine Paints of Europe, Eco, or Pharaoh Ball. You're going to have to use something with a very high gloss. And that's where the Pharaoh Ball comes in. It levels out very well. It has good workability. It has good coverage. But what you're really going to like about this is the sheen. If I had to pick a gloss paint to use around the house, and where I didn't need it to look like a mirror, but I just wanted something nice and shiny, I would definitely go with the Benjamin Moore Advance. And I do that for two reasons. One is the sheen, the reflectivity of it is 85%. It's a little higher than the standard 80%. The cost is $90, 85, $90, so it's not cheap, but it's got the second best coverage. I like that. It has the best working time. This is the easiest paint of all of them to work with. You can go back 2-3 minutes later and do a little touch up, and it just sort of remelts into there without having that flashing going on. Love the finish of it. Love the self-leveling of it. You don't see any brush strokes. It's a gem of a paint, and that's what I would, out of all of them, that's what I would pick unless I was looking for the highest reflectivity. Then I'd go with the Pharaoh Ball, or if I was looking for the best value, I'd go with the Clark and Kensington. So I hope you like this. This was fun doing this video. I learned a lot myself about it. If you have something, a paint you would like me to test, put it in the comments. I do read the comments, and I'd be happy to take a look at that paint for you. Thanks so much. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and thank you so much. See you on the next one.